Yeah.
Every now and then when I feel a bit buggy, I look at the floor, maybe need a new ruggy. Scratch that, I'll get some beers and get chuggy. Nah, man, I know what I need, some old man huggy. Old man huggy. Some old man huggy. Put your headphones on for proper audio quality, motherfucker.
What the fuck is up? Angry Black Quarterback episode number 19. Playoffs, baby. It is playoff time. I had to adjust the camera angle. We got Mr. Goody with us here today. We are minus the 2.0. 2.0's got some frat boy bullshit. Actually, no, shout out to 2.0. Another round of applause because he's about to graduate soon, dude. And that kid's like a badass. But he's got some frat pledge, I don't know, beat somebody up, hazing thing or something like that. So no 2.0 today, but we got Goody, and I'm sure Elwood will stumble his ass in here at any moment and make Mr. Goody mad. Angry Black Quarterback, episode number 19, playoffs, baby. It's playoffs, man. Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm excited. So is it angry white co-host when
When
he
it's just,
stumbles?
yeah, you turn into angry white co-host whenever Elwood shows up. Yes, that's factual. I will say that. No, I mean, it's just funny because he pisses you off with his fantasy football talk. You get so mad.
Well, no, I think it is like a good. I kind of play up how aggravated I am with him
No,
just
you
for the
definitely
podcast.
do.
Yeah,
I'd hope it wasn't that serious, but yeah, man. I mean,
I'm a professional. I know what I'm doing.
oh, I'm a professional. You're a professional, something that's for
Everybody
sure.
keeps saying that. Everybody keeps saying that. I'm a professional. I'm a professional. That's Man on Fire.
Yeah, I watched. Man, I watched that the other day. That movie is so good.
So fucking good.
And like, there's parts in that movie where you totally just get misty eyed, and you can't help it. And like,
It's
if
like,
if you don't, like, I'm like, fuck you, bro. Like, you don't even get it. You
yeah,
know,
they
you
got
don't you don't
Ave Maria in the
deserve.
background.
Yeah, you don't deserve a Chrissy Bear, dude. You don't even deserve one.
Here we go.
Here
Here
we
we
go.
go.
Is that a Rocco's Modern Life background too? That's kind of he.
Dude, he didn't even know shit about Rocco.
It's true.
or this modern life.
And last but not least,
Turn the page.
You know what's great?
Wash your hands.
Are you feeling bummed out?
Turn the page. Wash your hands.
Your head is too big for this like screen that you have going on here.
That's what I'm
You
saying.
need
He
to,
needs to turn it to landscape. I never understand why he's got to keep it high and tight.
How do I switch it? Is this help?
There you go. Look at that. You fill out the whole frame. It's even. It's proportion. Shout out
Imagine.
Smellwood.
it took us to get to the playoffs for this to happen.
I feel like
Hey.
after having a kid, you just got worse. Like, you know,
Yeah,
like now
you're
you're
like
like
those
forgetting
commercials.
shit. Yeah, you're like one of
No,
those
he's like those
commercials.
commercials where it's like you're turning into your dad, like those insurance commercials.
Oh,
Where he's
dude.
like, hey, get the line here together. He's like, okay, we don't need a hall monitor. He's like, hey, can you put your John Hancock on here? He's like, well, we could just call it a signature.
Well, I'd say you haven't reached to the point where you've gotten to your dad, but when you do, I'll be there and I'll be like, hey, I'll just be like, you've reached the tipping point. Like the crest of the wave is crashed. What's wild too is we have some friends like that are full blown their dads. Like it really trips me out. They fully become their dads. You're not there yet. You got a ways to go. But I could see the trajectory. I could see that.
I feel like I am my dad, but my dad wasn't like a normal dad.
Yeah,
As far as like
you're the version of your dad that you're not supposed to know about.
exactly, I'm my dad at his age.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But how are you, Smellwood? Are you doing okay after that loss to Washington? We got some stuff to go over, but before we get real deep into it, do you see y'all losing this game? Just curious. Do you see the
I hope not.
Do you think it's possible that you do?
I mean, if we play with the talent we have, we're winning. I will say I took a look at your bet picks or whatever you shared in the group chat.
Don't are you stepping on Mr. Bookie Two Shoes?
Yeah, you gotta wait. You gotta wait. You gotta wait for the. You gotta wait.
Whoa!
I'll let you say it.
Well,
I'm
Shut
just
it
telling
down.
you, there's
No,
two
no,
of those.
no.
Two of your picks, very disrespectful.
We can talk about it.
we can-
Like
we'll talk
when the
about it.
segment comes,
Yeah,
you can't just
you
come
gotta
in.
wait. You
You
gotta
can't
wait
just
till
stumble in
bets.
and just like take my
Hey,
shit. And
Did I give anything away? I just said
well, I
disrespectful.
prevented you from doing it.
Two of them. That's all I was gonna say. I wasn't gonna say anything else.
Jesus Christ.
He's already
Hey,
here blowing
hey.
up the
Also,
format.
shout out to Nisha. Shout out to Nisha.
Oh yeah, shout out to Nisha.
Shout out to handling your mushroom trip correctly. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, no, he said he's got one that beats you.
No, I think he's referring to. He heard it, right? Is
No,
that what
he
you're saying?
listened to it, but
Yeah.
he's saying that he has a mushroom story that's worse, that's more dangerous.
Oh, he was being sincere, as in he didn't handle
Oh.
his correctly.
Oh no,
No,
okay.
no,
But
I
before we
mean-
get into it, I want to clear the air. Okay, on that episode of Talk Shit or Get Off the Pod, it's on Mondays. Check it out. Follow, subscribe.
That's 70 ago.
I lied. I drove. I was driving on those mushrooms, and I didn't. Nobody picked me up. I got lost driving around in like the greater South Lake Grapevine area for about 4.5 hours. I
Did you
tripped
get
out on
the,
mushrooms
Wait,
by
what?
myself. I said in the podcast because I didn't want to say that I was driving around on mushrooms, but I was driving around on mushrooms.
But then you had the whole story about you went to the parents' house and you were on
No, I
mushrooms.
did. I went to the parents' house that I was on mushrooms. That was all true. And I went to the gas station, but I was by myself. There was no one to get me out of there. I was solo,
How did you
man.
talk me into being so honest about what happened to me?
Because I thought
and
about
then you
it, and
talk
I was
about when
like,
you're like 17.
yeah, but you
and
had a ride. I
you
thought
lied.
about it. I thought about it, and I was like, I don't know if
You're
I
like,
want
yeah,
to
this
admit to
sounds
driving.
bad.
I don't
You're
know if
like,
I want
this
to
sounds
admit.
bad.
I don't know if I want to admit to driving on.
Oh
on
my
hallucinated. Well, I came clean. I'll come clean on Monday too on the other
You
podcast.
haven't.
But I did
You
drive.
haven't lived unless you've installed the DVD player for your mom while tripping on shrooms.
Well, I've done a lot
True
of like
story.
normal shit on shrooms. Like this was just like a whole different
Oh,
ball
bro,
Yeah,
game.
believe me, one
don't
of
go
my
see
craziest
Avatar. That's a
trips
bad idea, man.
Was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory opening weekend, and I told J Hugs about it earlier in the week. But we pretty much took shroom dust, which we didn't know how strong it is because my buddy at the time, like
Don't do drugs, kids. By the way.
yeah, was having a bunch of them, and then he says, "Hey, I got all this dust. I don't know what to do with it. Let's just take it all." And so he gives us an eighth each and puts it in a peanut butter sandwich. We eat the sandwich in line at AMC at Grapevine Mills to buy our tickets, and I shit you not, just waiting in line because it was opening night. Waiting in line, in the theater, I remember looking down, and AMC has the space floor where
Yeah,
don't spill.
yeah, that super tacky carpet.
Stuff started moving, and I was like, we got to get in this theater fast. And I shit you not, this was, it's far back when I remember one of the previews trailers was March of the Penguins. And I was just like, that's when my trip started fully like going in. And it was just like, oh my God, these penguins are so great, And then there's all of a sudden a seal comes out of nowhere and takes a penguin out. And I'm like, oh my God. But long story short, we found out that the eighth of dust, so a gram of dust is equal to 3 grams of stems and caps. So we each pretty much had over 9 grams of
But
stems and
see, now
caps.
who comes up with that measurement?
And then my buddy had to tell a
That's the
story
thing.
about
Like
his
they're all
friend pissing himself while tripping. And so, like,
Well,
10
this,
times in the movie, I'm checking myself to see if I pissed myself.
dude, I still think it's crazy that you crawled.
You want to hear? Now that we're not on my podcast, I'll say this: I literally stood up, unzipped my pants to pee in the theater, and when nobody stopped me, I was convinced that I was dead. I'm like, nobody's come to help me. I just unzipped my pants and took my dick out like I was gonna pee in this theater, and nobody stopped me. And then I went back down onto the steps and then like tried to like remember, like Barack Obama's name
So,
and my mom. And then I was like, get up one more time.
Yeah, man.
And Bonnie was
tying
like,
into
yo,
the
yo,
whole
yo.
pee
Well,
loop,
anything that
I
public though is
actually,
a
in the
bad
middle
idea.
of the movie, went to go pee, and I was so sketched out because I thought, man, I'm going to walk out, and there's just going to be like security cops staring at me and all these people thinking I'm a weird. Well, I forgot the movie we went and saw was a later showing. So by the time I went out to go pee, like peeking on my trip, there was like, they had shut down the concessions. So no employees were working. And I was just sitting there under the stars that move in the AMC, just geeking out. So I do all that, come back. My buddy sees me come back all normal. And he's like, you know what? I need a break too. Like what Elwood just did sounds like a good plan. So he goes out, but him coming back in is where it all goes wrong. In the big stadium seats where you walk up and then you take like a hard left and then you walk back up again.
Okay.
Well, he takes that hard left and he just keeps walking into the corner. And I'm watching him just walking into this corner, and to the point where we're packed theater, fucking opening night, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and I have to stand up in the middle of the theater and be like, Robbie, over here.
Yeah,
And
man, that's just a bad idea, man. It's too public.
There was this couple sitting next to me, and I one of my only memories I have is just I knew I had to have been freaking them out, because I don't know if y'all remember Tim Burton's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. The Oompa Loompa songs are fucking insane. So anytime the Oompa Loompas showed up and started singing or doing a number, I would just look over to the couple and be like, oh my God, just tripping my balls out.
No,
And I'll
that's a
never
bad
forget
idea, man.
the movie ending and all of us standing up. Like I'd never felt like how you were describing, Goody. Like I've never felt so alone. Like my world was ending. I didn't know what I'd just gone through. And I'll never forget standing up, looking at all my friends that were tripping with us, and we all had the same exact look of just like, I'm so ready to get the fuck out of this theater. And then I had to drive us all home while a lady swerved her car in front of us, and we're all contemplating, is it me swerving or this lady swerving? So yeah, it was a great night.
Well, if you were by yourself.
Yeah, yeah, that's just like, that's way too public of a place.
I'm not that lonely.
Way too public of a place. No, man, you just had the day off, you got a free movie ticket.
I had a free movie ticket. It's a mile away, and it was a Sunday, and I wanted to see. I didn't know how long, like more
Well,
long.
me and Jay
Avatar.
have actually agreed. Your first problem in your whole day was on the fly shroom trip, because that never goes well. Like I always have to plan my trips out. Like give me a couple days in advance to like, all right, put my shit aside, make sure I'm good. Not like, oh, I'm going to the theater. Oh wait, I didn't plan on, but I'm ordering this stuff. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna trip shrooms. Yeah, there's no.
And it didn't, and it didn't kick in until I was already in the theater by myself,
Yeah.
and then it was just went super hard. So it was like I was like good, sober, walking into the theater, and then it was just a whole fucking thing.
I will say I've tripped on shrooms and acid to Tim Burton movies, and his movies are just. I swear the guy makes his movies while on hallucinogenics.
Yeah, or like 4. Yeah, for sure. Him
Like
and
Corpse Bride, I watched on acid once, and it was like the whole patterns. There was just faces everywhere, and I was just like, Tim Burton's a genius.
yeah.
He's making this happen. But anyway, to the sports, yeah. I will say I'm not happy that Cowboys have the Monday game. I hate waiting all weekend for like a
So
dual
you're
situation.
shitting on DeMar Hamlin at this point because that's why they got that game was because they had
Oh,
to
I didn't
cancel.
know that. Did not know that.
Get me when she goes to bed.
Okay.
No,
Who?
it'll be
How?
who. Because like the playoffs are set. Eagles won, so haha.
But out of all the competition, Buccaneers are the team I'm happy to see first.
Cool,
It's
we'll
not
find
like
out.
I would
We'll
want
find
to.
out.
There's not like another team I'd rather be playing first round. Like, oh, I'd rather be playing San
I think that's
Francisco.
the team that you guys can't beat.
Oh well, it always can't be undefeated.
I think you could beat the Niners. I think you could beat the Vikings. You've already proven that. I think you could beat the Giants, the Seahawks.
Yeah, but far as how sports go, I feel like it's always when there's not a rivalry like with the Cowboys Vikings, it's harder to repeat a win when you blew them out last time and they're gonna be on. It's like the whole opposite of who was on the shit end last is gonna.
How about this? Let me rephrase this. I don't think you could beat any of these teams because your team is the worst in the playoffs. What I'm saying is that
With
you
the
could
best
beat
record.
that. You could
You're
beat
the wild
them
card.
just as easily as you could beat the Buccaneers. Is what I'm trying to say.
Well, if the Cowboys don't beat the Buccaneers, I mean,
You're not going to.
well, I already know your opinion. Solve the bets.
All right, well, slow down.
No, but just
Disrespectful. No, I honestly, this is what's
down.
gonna happen. This is my prediction. Y'all ready?
Can we
Brady will
go through the games of the weekend?
Brady doesn't have a rush game. Buccaneers have no running game. So therefore, he's going to be forced to pass, maybe over 40 passes. Therefore, hopefully, if the Cowboys defense shows up like they did all season, our pass rush will all of a sudden be back. Brady will get injured. Now, I'm quoting here. We will injure Brady, and it will go down as Brady being undefeated against the Cowboys.
Bounty gate.
He was undefeated until his last game, and it was the game that ended his career and made him retire.
All right.
No.
That's the story going in.
Slow it down, stop, because I want to go through these other games first. We're gonna go in the games in order and talk about who we think's gonna win.
Joseph likes chronological order.
Well, it's the last game of the weekend, and Elwood's just jumping the fuck ahead. He just now figured out how to get his camera angle on landscape, and now he's taking over the goddamn show.
Up.
Here we
There we go.
Yeah, whatever. But going into this weekend, you saw the Cowboys lose. We got a bunch of really good games this weekend. I'm not going to dive too much into these last week's worth of games. I mean, obviously the Cowboys lost. You saw Tampa Bay lose as well, so they're both limping into the playoffs. Seattle won to get in. We saw the Packers lose and fall out. Chargers are in. Jacksonville won to get in. Well, the first game of the weekend is the 3:30 game on Saturday, and it's Seattle versus San Francisco. That's happening in Santa Clara, California at Levi's Stadium. San Francisco is obviously favored in this game. Is anybody taking Seattle in this game?
I have them in a tease. So basically,
No.
the points on it, I think it's plus 13. Niners.
Yeah.
Let me just look, just so we're talking real numbers. Okay, no. So it was plus 10 Niners.
Okay.
So basically, if the teams are even, the home team gets an advantage of 3 points.
Yeah.
Just off, and then it goes from there. So they're saying that this is a full extra touchdown better than that the Niners are than the Seahawks. But with the tease, you can tease it up 6 points. So all I'm saying is that the Seahawks don't lose by more than 16 points.
Okay. I mean, how do you feel about?
I feel like the Niners are going to win this game. I just don't know if they're not going to win by 16.
I will say when I read it earlier, I thought that was the disrespectful of you were betting the Seahawks to win the game, and I was like, "How you guys
No,
bet?"
these are all. That's why I had to explain it.
Well,
Like
okay.
this is like these aren't money line. This isn't a money line parlay at all.
It's just
Yeah,
a
yeah,
This
point
is
spread.
playoffs.
you don't bet, so you don't know what he's doing on his bets.
I know,
So
but usually I do. Usually I just pick winners,
true.
so I get the confusion. This time I haven't.
Okay. Well, in this game, I mean, I do. Before we get on to Seattle, does anybody see San Francisco going to the Super Bowl? Does anybody think they're going to make it to the Super Bowl?
No, because they have to go through the Eagles.
Yeah, I think that their offense is going to implode at some point. Their defense is great, but I think with
From
Brock,
what I heard of Jalen Hurts, he was pretty sore after last
okay, we're
game.
not talking about that game. So in
Well, I'm just saying. when
okay,
he's
well,
talking
we'll
about
talk
Hold
about
on,
that.
just say
about losing. How can I not discuss about 49ers just have a stacked team that is healthiest team going in on hot into the playoffs? So I don't want to hear this. No one's beating the Eagles because you got to give the 49ers credit where it's
Yeah,
due
but
right
the 49ers are
But
still rolling
also-
in there with the third, fourth string quarterback who's a rookie. We've
That
never
looks
seen
good.
a rookie. We've never seen a rookie win the Super Bowl to begin with. So if Brock Purdy's going to go out there and do something that we've never seen,
Has Jalen Hurts ever won a playoff game?
that's not. He's only been to the playoffs once. It's his second trip. We're not even. That's
Well,
not even.
in my opinion,
That's
that's
not
as
what we're
much
talking about.
experience
I'm
as
strictly
the person
talking
that's
about.
ever
I'm
been to the
strictly
playoff.
talking about San Francisco. Strictly talking about San Francisco.
Okay. Let's just backtrack. Like for San Francisco, so they win this game. I think we all have them winning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't have them winning by more than 16. That was on one of the bets.
Yeah, I think that'll be a
Okay,
closer
so
game
then,
than that.
so if the Cowboys win, then the Cowboys get to play the winner of the Giants Vikings, right? Or the so did they reseed?
Yeah, they
They
reseed
reseed, right?
in the lowest, and the Eagles will play the lowest remaining seed out of all
Right.
of the teams left. So,
So if Tampa Bay beats the Cowboys, the Eagles play the Bucks, and
well,
then
that's
the
if
Niners.
everybody else. That's if everybody. That's only if all favorites win. So if all the favorites win, then we would play Then we would play the Bucks because they're 4, and then somebody else, and then 2 and 3 would play. But if anybody else wins, so let's say.
So then we play so if the Cowboys win, we play the Cowboys.
It's possible we could play the Cowboys if they're the lowest remaining.
Unless the
seed.
Giants win.
Unless the Giants win or Seattle wins.
That's the game I honestly have no clue.
Okay, so take Seattle out of this. So the Niners are going to probably play then the Vikings.
How long is this gonna do?
Well, it depends. It depends on if it's going to be the Giants. If they're playing the Giants, then if they play the Giants or the Vikings, I don't. That's a scratcher of a game too. But in regards to San Francisco, I think they're going to run into. I think their offense is going to implode at some point. They're going to run into a pretty tough defense that's going to create some turnovers, and we're going to have to see them play from behind, which I don't think they're necessarily equipped to do. They're good at playing with a lead. And I mean, Brock Purdy's been playing great. Don't get it twisted, but I don't foresee them going all the way. Seattle.
Okay, so all right, I figured this out. If the Giants win, then no matter what, the Eagles play the Giants because they're the low seed. Okay, so say the Giants don't win, it's the Vikings. That means the Niners play the Vikings and the Eagles play the Bucks or the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Okay, so they have to go through the Vikings, and I could see them losing to the Vikings.
Yeah, I could see that.
But that's it. That's still going to be in Santa Clara, as you say, San Francisco.
Yeah, Levi's Stadium.
Like the Google campus is right there, and that's where my dad was like living for like a solid 6 months. Just throwing that out there.
Okay. Well, I mean, in regards to Seattle, I mean, the only chance they have is creating turnovers, protecting the ball, running the ball really well with their great rookie running back, and just controlling the clock and keeping the ball out of San Francisco's hands. They're going to have to create turnovers. They're going to have to honestly play perfect on offense.
Did you hear?
What if they just take the top off the defense with those receivers?
Well, I mean,
Did you hear
their
Carroll's
defense
press
is stacked.
conference though?
Whose?
Pete Carroll's.
No, what was he saying? I mean,
He
I saw
didn't
there was
sound.
some...
He didn't sound too confident. He just goes, "Man, we got to play San Francisco." Like the way he just says it, he's like, he's no bullshit. I will give him credit there. He's just like,
Well, they're good.
that's the. Yeah,
But it's also the
It's
third
like a
time that
mini-
it's the third time they're going to see each other this season, so that might even it out, a
Yeah,
little
it's hard
bit.
to beat a team 3 times in a single season.
Yeah, he did mention that though after saying how good of a team they are.
Well, Pete Carroll's not stupid. He's going to pay his respects to the Bay Area when it comes to that team. They won the division
Bay Area.
handily, but I think that, if, like I said, if they can go out there and Seattle can play good, solid defense and create some turnovers, maybe get after the quarterback a little bit.
I think it's going to be a low-scoring affair.
If Seattle can create 2 to 3 turnovers, they got a shot. If it's just nobody turns the ball over and they're not really being able to play ball control and win that position field battle with San Francisco,
Seattle's defense,
they're gonna get beat.
Seattle's defense is legit, and if they can get to Purdy, like if they start like creating sacks and a couple of turnovers, like I don't know if they need 3 interceptions, but like 2 and then like 5 sacks, maybe a sack fumble.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Like, I think already Seattle's broken everyone's expectation, but let's be real. What if Seattle gets to a second round playoff? Like,
and they have to play us in Philly, and it's over.
But I'm just saying, like, even that, like, that is the most successful year that they could have ever asked for. What going into the season?
Yeah, I mean, he's up for coach. Pete Carroll's up for coach of the year.
Well, and they've got draft cap. They have a lot of draft picks coming their way. They're in really good shape. They got cap space too, so they're looking good. I mean, I think we all pick San Francisco here. Seattle's gonna need to play a damn near perfect game on offense and create a bunch of turnovers on defense that leads to points, not just to stop drives and then punt. They're gonna have to get a good.
I'll be honest.
I didn't think about this.
The Eagles' biggest competition in the playoffs. We just haven't for the last 3 weeks.
It's been raining like a motherfucker up here in California. And have we checked what the forecast is in San Francisco? Because that's an open air stadium. I'm almost positive.
Yeah, it is. Actually.
Oh yeah, aren't y'all dealing with floods?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me click on it. I got it pulled up. Location and weather.
Can your state get it right? I swear to God, California is either going to be set on fire or flooded until it falls off the whole map. It's just
what happened? You know what happened? There's more people who died in the floods in 2022 than from the fires.
I guess.
And that it just happened in December, and it's still happening right now. But
now, when it was floods, was this like tidal or like mudslides? Like what?
Well, that's what's happening now is that the ground gets so saturated because there's been so much rain, then the mudslides happen.
Okay, because I can see that potentially causing more deaths, just how fast and quick.
Can you imagine having to die in a mudslide? Like,
dude. I mean, just seeing the videos.
On a lighter note, back to sports. Let's not talk about people dying in mudslides. Jesus Christ.
Well, we're talking about the weather in San Francisco.
Yeah, there could be a mudslide in the middle of the day.
No, that's terrible.
We need a quant to tell us quickly what the
it could be if it's a messy, ugly game in San Francisco, that lends towards San Francisco.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So I mean, but yeah, so we're all taking the Niners over the Seahawks. The second game of that day at 7:15 on NBC from Jacksonville, Florida. This is going to be a really fucking good game.
This is Saturday?
It's going to be Chargers versus the Jags. I'm rolling Jags in this one also because I picked the Chargers to not make the playoffs, and then they did. What are y'all feeling about this game? I'll let Elwood go first because he likes to cut everybody else off. What
are you talking about?
No,
it's hard to get a word in sometimes.
What's your thoughts?
And I have ADD, so if I don't get it out, I forget. Speaking of ADD, what game are we talking about? Jags. I think the Jags, and this is my only reason, just the way they've looked coming into the playoffs. Chargers are such a hit and miss team, and Jags have been on fire, and Trevor Lawrence, I think, is turning into what everyone somewhat expected him to be with his talent coming from college. Honestly, I forget who told me the other day, I had no clue that guy is 6'7" or something. He's a tall motherfucker.
He's Mr. Stewart, girl.
Yeah, he's the prince that is promised.
He has one of the weirdest, longest faces, but prettiest set of hair. Like, it's like...
I don't know about the prettiest. I feel like he get it right a little bit more.
Remember the Titans. Like,
yeah. And he has beautiful eyes. I think they're just, like sea blue.
Well, what I would, besides fawning over Trevor Lawrence, what we've seen, Jack, not just their offense, the way their defense has played the past couple of weeks, with Rashawn Jenkins out there making sacks. He had the interception that beat the Cowboys in overtime. He had that sack strip that led to being returned by Jonathan Allen for a touchdown the other day.
And there's no one on the Jags that is playing for their job, right? Like potentially the Chargers are with their head coach.
Yeah, but I don't think that necessarily
I
affects
heard.
their head
I heard
coach.
the Chargers aren't getting fired.
That's what they've said, but I mean, if they go out there and get smoked, it's possible. I think anybody can lose their job on any given Sunday.
Okay.
But,
Yeah. Okay.
Or
but,
Saturday.
okay. Like what? Yeah. What? Okay. So what I'm saying is, we could all see this. Chargers go into Jacksonville, lose a close game yet again, Chargers fashion, and we're not surprised. And then here comes the fucking story about Trevor Lawrence. They won 6 games in a row, like to get to the playoffs, and then he first shot at the playoffs, he beats Herbert. I could see that, but I could also see Chargers roll in, Herbert just dominates them like Georgia on TCU. Like not like that crazy, but like kind of.
Yeah.
And then it's like, yeah, Herbert's now ascended to like that Josh Allen, Mahomes like official level because of like how he worked Trevor Lawrence and Jack in his house.
No, I think
those are the 2 storylines. One of those is coming out.
No, whether he beats Trevor Lawrence or not, I don't think you put Justin Herbert in that upper echelon of, say, a Patrick Mahomes, a Joe Burrow. It takes more than winning one playoff game to be like, all right, this kid's made it because they snuck.
It's his first playoff game though.
That's fine. You can play your first playoff game against a young.
No, what I'm saying is blowout. If the Chargers win, it's going to be a blowout.
Yeah, a young inexperienced team that's coming out of that's like probably at least 2 years ahead of schedule. You could say that this is Trevor Lawrence's rookie year. They're playing with house money. I mean, I don't think that if Herbert wins this game, now if they win the second round and they beat one of these, he beats one of these top tier quarterbacks, then sure,
the Bengals, the Bills, or the
because there's no questioning. Does he have just as much arm talent as them? But does he lead his team the same way? Like he doesn't. Like they'd have a better record if they did.
But you agree he gets more credibility if he goes in and wins this game, and if he doesn't win this game, then questions start flying everywhere in LA. Like maybe you're right. Like if they get bounced hard by the Jags, they might just get rid of their coach.
Yeah, they have too much talent.
And Sean Payton.
And you've seen them keep players in the game. Like Mike Williams got hurt, keeping him in late. You see where they don't need people, keeping them in. People getting banged up. They've made some bonehead coaching decisions. Now they've improved. I think they were 9-8 last year, and they're like 10-7 or something, or what? What are they this year? They're somewhere.
More importantly,
they're in the playoffs.
Yeah, they're in the playoffs. Well, they've improved they improved in the regular season, but not by an exponential amount. And you could say they have one of the best running backs. They have 2 really good wide receivers. They have a lot of talent out there. They have an all-pro safety in Derwin James. I mean, Joey Bosa can't stay healthy to save his life. He's missed like 13.
Nobody on the team can.
But that's the whole thing. That's
Sean Payton would love Herbert. You kidding me?
Okay, so no, I'm fully on. Yes, this guy's playing for his job is the coach, and because I forgot Sean Payton's there. Sean Payton just moved to LA, and because he's working at Fox, and I just heard him on a podcast. He's like, I'm just getting adjusted to living in LA, and it's like he's like, I really like it out here. And I didn't think he was like that at the time. He was like vibing for the Chargers thing. But he also said he was like, I've had a couple meetings, and my question is, why haven't you guys won? You know, he's like, it's an organizational thing, and I didn't like put that like, so maybe that rules the Chargers out because they don't win. However, they're in LA. They play in SoFi Stadium. He doesn't have to move. He likes LA. And everybody said he wants to go to a place with a quarterback. Well, who has a quarterback?
I think honestly, that's the best quarterback.
Sucks.
That's
the Chargers might win this game, lose the next game, and they still fire this guy and get Sean Payton. Like, it seems too obvious now that I thought about it.
Honestly, I just want to see. I think it would be cool to see Trevor Lawrence and Burrow meet up in the playoffs and battle.
Doug Peterson versus Zach Taylor.
Yeah, I mean, the coaching right now, I would lean towards Jacksonville. The quarterback play that we've seen as of late, I'd lean towards Jacksonville overall defensive performance we've seen in like the past 2 months, I'd lean towards Jacksonville.
Yeah,
and
how's
creating
Jacksonville's
turnovers and
D-line?
points off of turnovers. Running game, I'd give to the Chargers, but like when it comes to coaching decisions, clock management, definitely to Jacksonville. So I mean, Jacksonville's playing with house money.
And it's the Chargers flying out to the East Coast, and that's like there's a whole thing on that.
Yeah,
like,
they're going to be playing way ahead of schedule. The clocks will be off, so we'll see. I mean, I like Jacksonville in this game. I think they win it probably like 31-24.
I think Doug Peterson should be up for Coach of the Year.
He is.
Didn't he come up like mid? I forget, because someone said the other day, and I didn't even realize it. He wasn't coach start of the year, right?
No, he
was.
No, he wasn't at the start of the year.
What?
Doug Peterson was the head coach at the start of the football season.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, they fired Urban Meyer as soon as they fucking could, and then they got Doug Peterson.
Yeah.
This is his first year, but
yeah. I didn't. Someone said that it was mid-year, and I was like, I don't know that. So they were wrong. I'm just glad to clarify.
All right, now first game on Sunday at noon, we got the Miami Dolphins versus the Buffalo Bills. It's going to be in Orchard Park, New York. I mean, I like Buffalo in this game, especially with Tua Tapioca putting Brain Taloa being out because he still can't pass concussion protocol. Man, he just needs to stop playing. It's like it's wild. And he's already missed some games because of it. They're going to be rolling in there with Skylar Thompson, their rookie quarterback. But, I mean, for me, it's Buffalo all the way. Do you feel any different?
No, I don't. In my parlay, Buffalo's favored by 13.
Yeah.
And so they're part of this 16 team tease. So I put it up to plus 19. So all I'm saying is that the Dolphins won't lose by more than 19 points. Which, they were basically tied the last time they played. But I agree Tua was in that game. But that was also like the snow. Remember, it was supposed to be the snow globe game.
Yeah.
And they were just like going back and forth. And also, we forget Buffalo loses that Patriots game last week if they don't have 2 kick returns for touchdowns. They won by 12. There's 2 touchdowns on kick returns for 14. I mean, I guess they could have scored on those drives, and and it's the same thing. Like if the kick return didn't go to the house.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like,
the Patriots were playing for their life, right? Because they actually
but so was the Bill. The Bill, are you kidding? Playing for our lives. DeMar Hamlin's playing for his fucking life.
True, but in the sense of like, I understand that
they wanted to win that fucking game,
but New England. That's, I think, they played a damn good game. I don't think that's just
my point. Like, my point is that
Miami.
Buffalo had every reason to win that game, and they still didn't dominate. That's why I'm saying. All I'm saying is that they're not going to beat the Dolphins by 19. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, right. Buffalo's been kind of treading water and how they've been.
Yeah,
playing.
they haven't dominated any team.
Well,
at the end of the season.
Yeah, I mean,
and they probably don't want to beat them by 19. They just want to pound the ball and then just get the fuck out of there. But they don't care about blowing them out.
Yeah, they've also had a really rough schedule with their snowstorms and stuff. Besides the Hamlin situation, they've had weeks worth of really rough travel and blizzards and missing flights and getting in the day of games. So the fact that I'd say that with all the distractions going on around them, Buffalo's played surprisingly well. But I mean, they haven't been playing like we saw them at the beginning of the year. Losing Von Miller hurts. They're definitely missing some tools on defense as well as offense, just like, age and attrition and people getting beat up. But, we'll see. I think they easily win this game. I think it's going to be tough for Miami to go on the road. Rookie quarterback out in the element. It's just going to be difficult for them. I mean, it's like their route to winning it is almost the same as Seattle. Play flawless on defense, create turnovers, and gets points off of it. And hope that Buffalo can't help but shoot themselves in the fucking foot. Because other than that, Buffalo goes out there and plays their brand of football that they want to play. Miami doesn't stand a chance with what they have. And just like ball control, they won't be able to stop them. they won't be able to sustain a drive long enough to even really put points on the board, except for some big plays. I mean, obviously, look for Miami first drive trick play, like a flea flicker shot downfield. Look for maybe a double pass. They're going to be trying to pull out all the stops. You might see a fake punt or an early onside kick out of fucking nowhere, especially if this game starts to get out of control. Miami's going to do everything they can to try to steal momentum quick and early and then go from there. And if they're unable to do that, then it could get really, really ugly for them really quick.
Okay, so like this is the other thing though, to play devil's advocate. This is another third time they've seen each other this season. Second time that the Dolphins are going into Buffalo, and they were there the whole game with Buffalo in Buffalo. So, and then the other thing would be the letdown game where it's like you got so hyped up for last week's game because of all the circumstances, and they might have just emotionally exhausted the Bills and not ready for the game like you would think they would be. That was really like I'm not saying that's going to be the thing. I'm just saying that could play a factor maybe.
I don't know, man. I bet you if they have like Hamlin go out there and be a team captain for this game, I bet you that place, the roof off of Orchard Park, even though it's outdoors, explodes. I don't know. I think Buffalo's going to be hyped and be really fucking ready for this game. And
no, I agree with you. But if I was just trying to take the other side.
Yeah, and Miami's not built for a big rough and tumble game, in my opinion. They're real quick inside the numbers, inside the hashes. You're going to see a lot of like quick 1, 2, 3 quick reads and drags and outs. I just think they're going to get too cute and it'll be too dink and dunk on offense to really keep up because it'll be just a different brand of football. It's going to be a good game, but I think if it gets out of hand, it's one-sided for sure. And Miami's going to have to play the biggest game of their life. It's going to be one of the biggest upsets that's Seattle, San Francisco, and Miami versus Buffalo. If those games, if the underdogs, one of them wins, that'll be considered one of the craziest upsets in football in play. Geno Smith's on the map. If he goes out there and beats San Francisco, Geno Smith is on the fucking map. And if Skylar Tompkins goes out there and beats Buffalo in Orchard Park with a banged up team, like your fifth,
dude, he's gonna be like a villain.
They'll be like, is there a quarterback controversy? Does Tua still have a job? Like that'll be one of the biggest upsets. No. If he wins that playoff game and beats Buffalo in Buffalo, people will say that strictly because Tua can't stay healthy. That's where I'm saying.
I don't know.
When's the last time Miami won a playoff game and was relevant? Yes. The moment
he'll be the most hated man in America because they want the Buffalo Bills to be like the little giants, like where they're just like where everybody's rooting for him now because of what happened with DeMar. I'm telling you,
that's fine. But I'm saying if Miami goes out there and beats them, that'd
be like fuck that guy.
It'd be one of the craziest stories ever. That'd be a crazy storyline. That would be absolutely wild because there's 2 rookies starting in these playoffs. All right, now in the next game, because we all have Buffalo though winning that. The next game is the Giants versus Minnesota. This will be a good game. It's not the primetime game, so we might not get primetime Kirk Cousins in this. It's going to be at 3:30. It's indoors at USA Bank in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I like Minnesota in this game personally. I think it could be. I think this might be one of the better games all weekend, though.
What do you mean by better? Closer?
Like closer games. I think this is going to be probably one of the closer games.
Yeah, it's probably the most even match far as, like I said, it could go either way. I honestly don't know who's going to win it.
But Jags Chargers.
Well, I think that those are the 2 best games, the closest games of the weekends. Jags, Chargers, and Giants versus Vikings. I mean, the Vikings have a great offense. You have all these weapons, this firepower, Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson. There might even be a Rager sighting, even though he's garbage. But, we've seen them falter in these big moments. I've also seen Kirk Cousins beat the Saints in New Orleans, which is pretty fucking crazy. I think the Giants are going to play like we've seen the Giants play before. I think they're going to implode in this game, honestly. Not playing any of their starters last week, I think, was a bad idea. Not playing Danny Dimes or any of them.
Wasn't it?
No, they were also protecting people from injury. Not
okay, but okay,
bad idea.
Y'all, why is it a good idea that the Eagles get a bye so they can rest their players? So that was like their bye.
No, and I get that, but I'm talking about like they weren't. I wouldn't say they were playing like world beaters going into this situation into the
So
playoffs.
what?
Or
So
you could
what?
play like
It's like
Cowboys
you
and
still
try
get
to
a
do what
bye.
you're
You
talking
still get
about.
the
And
bye.
play like shit.
You
Like, what is the
earned the
Cowboys
bye. You
doing?
earned like a bye, like by.
No, I mean I get it. I'm not. I understand the logic behind it. I'm just saying I don't agree with
But
that
it's gonna
decision.
be bye because the Vikings are gonna beat
You
them.
say
That's
you
what it
don't
is.
agree, but as a Cowboys fan, I totally do. Because right when I found out Giants were sitting half their team, I go, then why are Cowboys starters out there? You really think the Eagles are going to lose to the Giants that are sitting half their starters when the Eagles are playing starters? Like, that was a coaching decision. And then watching the game, it's almost like Mike McCarthy just didn't want to pull anybody until they had a good drive, but that never happened.
Well, yeah, you
And it
wanted
was
it to
just
get to clicking.
shit after shit.
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. See, Joseph, that is the other thing. You could have been like the Cowboys, where you're like getting your like punts blocked and like getting sacked and looking like shit, like the whole
Well, I
goddamn
mean I get it because they
going into
couldn't
the
improve
playoffs.
their
Or you
seeding.
could rest your guys.
Yeah, like I get it. I'm not saying I don't understand it. They couldn't improve their seeding, so it didn't matter what they did. They couldn't move up. They couldn't move out of the spot. So I get
Yeah.
it. I'm just saying that from what we've seen from their offense, what we've seen from their wide receivers, and the inconsistency that they've been, and unless Danny Dimes is running for 3 touchdowns, they're having a hard time beating people. I just don't think it's, in my opinion, I wouldn't have sat people. I would have done what the Bucks did: let them play 2-3 drives and then pull their asses, and not let them get smacked around. But I just don't think you sit them all. I just don't like that look. Even though they played us and it helped us get the 1 seed, I just don't like that. Unless it's like actual injury or maybe Saquon, but I think you make Danny Dimes go out there and play a couple series and make sure.
And then what if he gets hurt and then you look like a fucking idiot?
Well, I mean, I get it. I'm just saying
Jones does like to run.
I would have.
Nobody cares that they lost that game.
No, I know that nobody cares, but I'm talking about for continuity of the offense and to go out there and get reps. I would have played at least my.
Okay, so what if they work the Vikings this week? Because the Vikings had to play last week.
Then they work the Vikings. I don't think that.
And then are you like, oh, that was a good idea that they all got to sit?
Because they didn't sit all of their starters on New York. They sat a chunk of them, but they didn't seat everybody. They still had Galladay out there, highest paid player out there.
Got his first touchdown.
Yeah, I know, right?
Got his first touchdown. Shout out. That of course you make his ass play. You've got no touchdowns. And we're paying you this shit ton of money. Get the fuck out of here. You're out there. You're earning your minutes, dude. If you get injured, we don't care because you've done nothing.
Well, I mean, so you think, but no one thinks New York has a chance?
Oh, I do.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Just because it's unfortunate, but yeah, Vikings have proven almost just like the Cowboys. You never really know what you're getting week to week.
The Giants, when Giants are on, like they're a good team.
Oh, Daniel Jones, like he has honestly been a surprise when he's on.
And they didn't extend his contract.
Like
so
who
he's
would
a free
think
agent.
They're talking about extending him and Saquon.
Yes.
But
yeah,
he
earned.
Could actually run. Like I never thought just looking at him would be like, hey, that guy could move on his feet.
He literally was the fastest quarterback at the combine when he got drafted. That's why I drafted him in my League of Dorks. He's my backup. Oh, he's my starter now because Russell Wilson sucks.
Yeah, Russell Wilson's terrible.
Ouch.
All right, well, the next game and the last game on Sunday is the Ravens versus the Bengals. It's at 7:15 on NBC, and that will be in Cincinnati, Ohio, at the Paycor Stadium.
Bengals all the way.
Yeah, Bengals to me look like outside of the Chiefs, then you can make a case that the Chiefs haven't been. The Bengals are playing the best football in the NFC right now, or AFC.
Yeah, I don't think Lamar's even close to 100%, and the fact that they're going to put him out on the field and literally we can, I think, all agree there's not one player out of all the playoff teams where a win is more on a player's shoulder than it is Lamar Jackson. Like the team just leans so much as him as a player. And then, like I said,
he also doesn't have a contract.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's representing himself.
Right. So if he's injured a little bit, why would he actually play in that game when he doesn't have a guarantee of any money coming in right after the season is over?
Well, I think that he knows somebody's going to pay him if he gets hurt.
Not if he fucks his shit up. Not like if he plays bad. I'm saying like if he's
Yeah,
like
he could have
already
an
injured and he gets
he could have
worse,
an
then
RG3 moment
Well, he had a
where he's the
strained
fourth play in the
PCL. He's been out
playoffs
for
where you're
what,
already hurt.
out for 5 games?
he
Yeah,
doesn't
and
have any guaranteed money coming in. So that's
No.
and that's
scary.
the
That's
thing.
fair.
It's not even that he's been out. He's barely been cleared. I think Wednesday might have been his first day to even clear for practice.
Yeah. So I don't know.
No, he hasn't practiced yet, actually.
Okay, then shit. Yeah, Cincinnati all the way. There's
Yeah.
no way.
Joe Burrow's playing out of his mind. Their wide receivers look good. They're healthy. They have a good run game. Their defense has been playing really crazy, getting a lot of turnovers, points off turnovers. I mean,
And it's at home.
yeah, and it's a home game for Cincinnati Ravens on the road. Right now, we haven't seen their backup quarterback still hasn't been playing at all at practice, so they're practicing with their third string quarterback, taking reps with the first team. I mean, Baltimore's defense is good, and they might create some problems, but yeah, the Ravens aren't going to be able on offense to sustain enough to really keep. You're going to have to protect the ball. Like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. These teams that are mismatched, it's like guard the ball with your fucking life. Take the ball away as much as you fucking can, and do not let them have the ball. That's all you can really do. Just hold on to it and squeeze it while you got it. Like 17 play, 14 minute 39 second drive. Like that's like your best chance of like winning some of these games, because on offense it's just a mismatch. Like if Baltimore can't make mistakes, especially if Lamar Jackson's playing or not playing. They can't make mistakes. Whether it's just going to implode fucking fast, real fast. And honestly, I to go back to the Giants game, I do see the Giants potentially winning this game, because if it falls, it's going to spiral super fucking fast like it always does for Kirk Cousins. So if he starts to spiral and teeter, that's going to go down real fucking quick.
I agree.
Goody, thoughts?
So I think the Bengals are gonna definitely win. But again, divisional opponents, 3 times they see them. They see them every year. The Bengals are +8 on this, which seems to me light. But again, it's a divisional game, so I teased it down to 6, but still took the Bengals. So the Bengals to win by 2 or have to win by more than 2, by field goal or more. And I think that's like obvious going to happen.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I see him winning by 2 or more touchdowns.
All
Yeah,
right.
exactly. I do too, but might as well, like, because I wanted to do the 16 teaser, so you have to do the same amount of points on every single game.
All right. Side question. Do you see Lamar Jackson with Baltimore next year? And if not, where do you see him going?
I actually thought about this. I'm trying to think of who I was thinking.
The Jets.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
That's
Zach,
exactly. That's 100% what should happen.
I don't know if y'all heard his latest comment. The kid is he's such an idiot.
Which kid?
I don't know
Zach
if he's
Wilson?
such an idiot,
The
but
MILF
his
hunter?
Yeah, about how he's going to make a veteran quarterback's life hell in practice if they bring him onto the team.
I didn't see that. If he said that, he's
Who,
stupid
Lamar?
as fuck.
No, he was asked if what would you, how would you take it, or what would you do if the team hired a veteran quarterback? And he goes, I'd give him, and he was saying it with a smile, but still just saying it. He's like, I'd make that guy's life hell every day in practice, just
Who
the
said this?
competition
Trey
stuff.
Lance?
And it's just like, dude, you can't, like,
Who
I
said
get it.
Zach
All
Wilson.
kudos
Who
to
said
your
this?
Zach
confidence.
Wilson.
Yeah.
Who said it?
All to your confidence, I get it, but when you are showing what you're showing and you still have this cocky, pompous attitude, it just doesn't rub the right way.
Okay, you guys, were you talking about Trey Lance?
No,
No.
he's talking about Zach Wilson, quarterback for the Jets.
Okay, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Zach Wilson is obviously not a starting quarterback in this league. And this is the thing. They've got all these dudes like Garrett Wilson and Elijah Moore and these defensive dudes like on rookie contracts. So this is the time to spend money on a quarterback like Lamar. And then whenever you have to pay these guys, then you can get rid of Lamar and get a quarterback on a rookie contract. Like that's how you like figure it out. So right now, like everybody around them's like not getting paid what they're about to get paid. So it's time to strike.
How's the Jets cap?
It's good right now, but it's gonna be crazy in like 2 years because they have so
Right.
many good players.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, I totally see it. Yeah, Zach Wilson is literally like the coach's son that started on the team that everyone knew on the team that he should never be starting. You know what I mean?
I could see Lamar 2 years, $150 million guaranteed. Jets.
That'd be absurd. It's possible.
Hey, I think he would look good in green.
The Jets are possible. The
Eagles.
The Raiders is possible. Just to make a look to
Buccaneers.
The Bucks is possible. I think Carr goes to the Bucks personally. I think that Carr dips and Carr goes to the Bucks.
I could see that.
I think Carr heads out and goes to Tampa. Fits
So that
scheme.
being said, do you think it's Brady's last year, or where do you put Brady?
I think Brady goes to the Patriots.
No.
Or the Jets. Because then the Jets know for a fact he's not going to be around after a year.
He might go to depending on what happens, he could end up in San Francisco, man.
Maybe.
Yeah.
How about that? They don't want that stink.
He's from the
That's where he's from. That's where he's from.
Yeah, he's from. He's talked about it before.
And
They
you can
talked about
say-
making
Yeah, but
a
he's
move.
40. He's 45 years old.
I hope
he's
he
not
fucks
from
off.
there anymore.
I hope he
Yeah,
fucks off.
He moved like 20 plus years ago.
When you're going through your whole depth roster of quarterback, you're telling me Tom Brady isn't a good like. If I'm on my third string,
What's wrong with
I
Purdy?
can get Tom Brady.
I wouldn't want Tom Brady on my team. Yelling at people like my 20-year-olds, like in the locker room. Like Joseph talks about all the time. He's toxic.
I wouldn't want him on my team.
I wouldn't want him like to fuck up the
But
vibe.
But are people stupid enough to bring him on? Like, yeah, they're dumbasses.
The Jets are.
He hopefully, and so is San Francisco. Look at what they're
No.
Yes, they're rolling with the fucking ridiculous pick at quarterback right now with Brock Purdy because they have to
He's 5-0
because they had one of the highest paid quarterbacks in porn star Jimmy who can't stay fucking healthy to save his life. Then they trade a bunch of people to move up into the draft.
Took him to the Super Bowl
and get didn't win it, so it doesn't mean shit. Doesn't mean shit because you didn't win it. Then you
ask McNabb.
Then you trade up. Yeah, I will ask McNabb. And I'll tell him it didn't mean shit because he didn't fucking win it.
Ask Barkley.
Yeah, didn't fucking win it. So Barkley didn't win it. That doesn't mean shit. It'd be like Dirk won an MVP.
Marino.
Dirk went to 2 finals and he won a final. So that's what legitimizes Dirk. It's not the fact that he won MVPs. It's that he beat LeBron and the big trio, the big three in Miami, and won the championship is what solidifies Dirk. So Jimmy G just getting to the game doesn't mean shit. And then they trade up. Unfortunately, and they roll the dice on their future to go get Trey Lance, who can't fucking play. And then they run him up the middle, and he snaps his ankle. They could.
That was God looking down on Shanahan right there. He's like, yo, I did you a favor, get this guy out of here.
That's Shanahan doing what Shanahan always does and having his quarterbacks get fucking hurt, blowing up their knees and ankles. How many quarterbacks have we seen under this guy?
No, their entire roster gets hurt. That's why I don't believe in them. If their entire roster was healthy all the time, they could be one of the best teams ever. It's like they're freaks on the defense. They got freaks on the offense. Their quarterback doesn't have to be that good. Purdy's pretty solid, and it doesn't really matter but they're not always out there at the same time, and that's the thing. It's and maybe it's part of the system. The system is so just smash mouth, run game, but out in the open. So you're really hitting people. Maybe that's a part of it, or you're juking out there.
Well,
so
no,
that's why people are tearing their ACL. I'm telling you, the Packers are like the Chargers when it comes to injuries.
I'm not disagreeing with that, but I'm just talking about at quarterbacks. We've seen him have lots of quarterbacks, at least three or four quarterbacks throughout his coaching career get hurt and have season-ending injuries, broken bones or torn ACLs or torn ligaments in their ankles. We've seen Shanahan have this happen multiple times. Now,
that's what I'm saying. Is it because of him?
Could Tom Brady choose?
Are you blaming him?
No, I'm just saying that he has a curse of having quarterbacks get hurt.
Well, so you are. You just said he has a curse.
Yeah, he is cursed and his quarterbacks get hurt.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what I'm saying is, maybe it's his system and not like some mythical curse.
Well, yeah, I think
Maybe
that
it's
the way
maybe
he
he
ran.
baby
Well, yeah.
quarterbacks and they don't get enough reps, and
Well,
or maybe like there's something.
So could Tom Brady go there and bus drive that offense? Yes. Would he take that job? Yes. Would they hire Tom Brady to bus drive that offense? Yes.
For how much?
For how much? He'd take that job for $25 million.
Dude, I swear to God.
He would take that job for $25 million. All right. And the last game, then after this, we're going to get into bets. The last game is Monday on the 16th. It's the Dallas Cowboys versus Tampa Bay. It's going to be at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida on ESPN, ABC, and ESPN Plus. But why the fuck would you watch it on ESPN Plus if you have a ESPN? And if you don't, watch it on regular television. It's the second time we've seen these teams play. First game was the first game of the year when Dak broke his putty little thumb. Cowboys ended up losing that game, looked pretty bad. Bucks didn't look that much better either, although they did run for like a $127 on offense. And definitely controlled the clock. Both teams are limping into the playoffs. Tampa's looked like shit. They have for
Limping?
weeks. Yeah, you guys lost going into the playoffs. You lost.
Still,
you
limping.
lost.
How can you say
Dak
limping
Prescott.
into
Dak Prescott had a 14 QBR. A 14 QBR. He was 14 to 37 for a $140 something. Yeah, that's what we call limping. Whenever you're going out there and you're completing less than 50% of your passes, and you have you realize that if you drop back to pass and if you spike the ball, and stop the clock, your QBR is a 29. A 29. If you snap the ball in the very beginning of a game and you drop back to pass and spike the ball and stop the clock, your QBR is a 29. Dak had a 14.
I guess our definitions of limping in are different.
When you lose to a third,
perform badly going into the playoffs, yes, I can agree to that.
With how
limping in,
yes,
we clinched 3 weeks out. It wasn't like we barely got in.
No,
clinched what? Barely got in. You didn't clinch the division.
No,
that's
you didn't clinch. You didn't clinch the number 1 seed.
All right, no, this is what I'm saying is look, whenever you lose to a third string quarterback, a 5th round pick in Sam Howell, and he lights you the fuck up. You can't sit there and you can't cover Terry McLaurin at all.
We beat you.
That's
with this team you're talking about. That's performing badly during this time period. They beat your Eagles.
That's fine, and we beat y'all earlier. It doesn't matter. You beat us with the backup. We beat you with the backup. It doesn't matter.
You can talk all this garbage about the Cowboys going to the playoffs.
Your pass rush is non-existent.
Your team.
Tampa right now is licking their chops. Not in one time in Tom Brady's entire career has he ever lost to the Cowboys. Not once. He has never lost to the Cowboys, not a single time. And there's all sorts of crazy stats, like the Cowboys this year are 2-5 on grass, and if they're not playing on indoors and on turf, then they have a losing record by a substantial amount, and they're going on the road to play outdoors on grass.
So as a person that's based all
Micah
their
Parsons is invisible.
Their family on analytics, how well has those analytics worked out for y'all this year?
What do you mean? We finished with
70. Real fucking well.
What do you mean? We're number 1 in total defense.
Yeah.
We're
talking about money you've made. Analytics betting.
That's completely different. That's
that's the robot. Don't talk about the analytics.
All these numbers.
Hold on. The analytics is 2.0. The analytics is 2.0, man.
Yeah, 2.0 has an algorithm that predicts.
Yeah, and he's not on the
podcast.
podcast.
The window when it comes to playoffs. Y'all should know this.
No, man. This is what I'm saying.
Don't come at 2.0 when he's not on the podcast.
Your defense is played like trash. You've been giving up points to everybody. In the past 2 weeks, we've seen 2 second or third string quarterbacks put up a pretty good fight against them, and you guys lost to one. Micah Parsons has become invisible. Invisible.
What's y'all's excuse? If all these teams beat us with their backups,
boo him.
We lost 3 games all year, dude. So you can say whatever you want.
Though?
You can talk all the shit you want, but at the end you can talk.
Address the question. We lost 4 games.
Okay.
Not that many.
I'm saying we have
More
the
than
number
you.
one. We have the number one record in the NFL. We have the number one defense in the league. We have a safety. We've been missing a safety who
Okay,
leads
we're
the
not
league in
talking about
interceptions,
that.
and he's missed
You
5
can't
games.
you can't jump from stat to stat that make your point look
Stat
better.
to stat.
You were talking about Cowboys losing to all these backup quarterbacks.
Yeah, the
Well,
backup
we
quarterback.
beat you with your backup quarterback. So what does that have to say?
What do you mean? It was a super close game. We played
Okay.
on the
We
road.
won. We won.
Okay,
So
that
So
doesn't
you
mean
guys
shit.
won against a
If the
backup
Cowboys are
quarterback.
that
Good
trash,
job.
If
Give
the
him an
Cowboys are that
applause for
trash,
beating the backup quarterback at
and you
home.
lost to
Give
that
him
big
an
of a
applause.
trash team.
Dude, look, I
I
get
don't
it.
know how
If you're
confident I am
frustrated,
in
look,
my
man,
team going
your
into the
running game,
playoffs,
your
the way
running
you're
game
talking
is
about the Cowboys.
your running game is non-existent. Dak has thrown an
Suspect.
interception in 7 straight games. He's thrown
7
a
straight.
pick 6 in 3 out of the last 4 games. So if you want to
He
sit here
loves it.
and pretend that your offense is playing like it was at the beginning of the year, or
Didn't
whenever
say
Dak
that.
Okay, so what I'm saying is when it comes to matchup to
Picks getting
matchup,
blocked.
that Tampa Bay defense versus how
Get
bad
'em.
your offenses looked, I like Tampa Bay's defense versus your offense. Your offense should be able to do more, but we haven't been able to see them be able to do shit. If you can't run the ball and Dak can't sit back there and play action pass, and he actually has to go out there and beat you, he's going to throw the ball
First
because
of all,
we've
we only
watched
had
him
2
throw.
weeks that were bad running.
Dak leads
One
the
was
league in
last week,
interceptions
which
and has
last
missed
week was
5
garbage.
games.
And then the
I saw
other
that.
week
I saw
our
that.
rushing wasn't on point.
Leads
was
the
when
league
Pollard
in
was hurt.
interceptions, missed 5
So you're
games.
you're saying we haven't had a rushing game. That's just been 2 weeks.
Yeah,
One
well,
with our number one rusher being injured.
Well, guess what?
3
It's the
weeks
last
because you
one.
didn't have a
How's that
rushing game whenever you played us. Whenever you played the Eagles on Christmas Day, you didn't have shit for a rushing game.
We won.
It doesn't matter. I'm
Mm-mm.
talking about your running game was non-existent.
Well,
Ellen.
if you're going to bring that up, what does it matter if we still win?
I mean, you can be fine. You can take all you want from that one regular season win. We split. We won the division. Get over it. And it's a reset.
Get over
We
it.
won
I'm
the
over it.
conference.
Then why are
We
you
won the
so? Then why are you so?
conference.
We're trying to objectively discuss why the Tampa.
Objectively, 2 Eagles fans just said objectively. That's hilarious. to
I
me right
said that if your offense goes out there and plays like it has recently, you're going to have a really hard time against that front 7 of Tampa
And I
Bay
agree.
that has
I
Vita
agree.
Vey, Levante David, Devin White. If Carlton Davis is playing, Winfield Jr.'s no fucking slouch.
Okay,
You
okay.
act like their
Agreed,
defense isn't
agreed,
good. They have a
agreed from the
top
start.
10 defense overall.
But
And
then
you
you
watch,
went on
and you
this
watch,
whole-
and because we
Bucks been
watched you
playing
guys,
good?
because we watched your ones throw up a
You went on
fucking.
this whole Brady undefeated rant and then talking about how
I'm
it's
talking
you know
about
what?
statistics
Cowboys
that are
win.
relevant to Tom Brady versus the Cowboys. In his
Well,
career, he's never lost to y'all.
Okay.
That's relevant.
Without me being a
Had
Cowboys
y'all-
fan,
had y'all
without
won
me
your
being a
game,
Cowboys fan,
had y'all-
without y'all being an Eagles fan, let's be real. How we
Had
talked
y'all
about
won your
every game
game.
this week, how we talked about every other game, it's a 50-50 chance.
No, both teams look like trash right now and are playing
50-50.
bad football
Yeah.
going into the
Yeah.
playoffs. Neither of these teams are playing the way they want to be playing
Either
going
team has
into the
an advantage.
playoffs. Neither
No,
of
but
these
the
teams.
Bucks are playing better than they were like mid-season. I
No,
will
but the
say.
Bucks. No,
Well-
but outside, no. We've only seen them play one game, and that's when they had to beat the Panthers.
You
Because
can
they
only
just
play
got
better when
smoked.
you're
They just
playing
got
the worst.
smoked on Sunday too. They didn't look that great. They got fucking smoked. So it's not like they went out there and played great. They pulled everybody because they were getting fucking embarrassed. And then they
I know.
pulled.
I really think that like this would be. Okay, talk about coaching for their job.
Mike McCarthy's coaching for his job.
Yeah,
No,
Mike McCarthy
no,
goes. Mike
no.
McCarthy goes into Tampa Bay and gets their ass beat. That should be done.
Okay.
Should be
Who's
done
Jerry-
there.
Who's Jerry hiring if not Mike McCarthy?
Sean Payton.
Sean Payton.
You think their
John
personalities can coexist?
No, I think I could see him going for like a Harbaugh type. I mean, we'll
No.
see. But I think if you
McCarthy-
lose,
Jim Harbaugh.
Y'all are gonna
John Harbaugh
y'all need to
or
pay
Jim
attention
Harbaugh.
as a
Sorry,
Cowboys
yeah,
I
fan.
heard Jim Harbaugh is up on the
slide.
what?
Mike McCarthy is Jerry's Jason Garrett 2.0.
No, that's sad.
Like
That's
what,
your
like,
demise right there. You should hope he gets fired then.
Exactly.
Well, no, it's not in his skill level in the sense of Mike McCarthy is not a showboat.
He's a
He
yes
doesn't
man.
like being in front of cameras. He's actually not very presentable. But he is not one for the spotlight. That is the perfect coach for Jerry. Jerry Jones is the spotlight.
You should
And-
hate
and-
that, dude. That
And
shouldn't
if
be.
history has proven us something, well, no, I'm not saying. I'm just getting real. When we're talking about Mike McCarthy being up for his job, there's no way. It ain't happening.
Nah, man. I mean, I
Mike
think
McCarthy is what does he do? He's just like a game manager. Like he does not a game manager. He's like managing the staff. Like he
You can
has
say that, but let's be
no, he
real.
doesn't call the
And I've heard
plays.
this across the board.
He doesn't
You
call the
have to
plays.
give it up to the
You guys have a
coaches.
defensive
can
coordinator
y'all
up in
stop
like
talking over each other? Jesus.
We won, what was it, 4 games with a backup?
Dude,
That's
we just
coaching.
let you talk. That's my whole point. We let
No,
you
I know.
talk.
I'm saying, like, I'm trying to let Andy, like, y'all just go back and forth. I'm trying to let y'all
I
finish.
know, but he's not a professional like us.
Get
I'm not
outta
even
here.
talking right now, and y'all are talking about how I'm interrupting. Can you
No, it's
talk
fine,
like an adult, not a child?
I'm saying just both of y'all.
Okay,
I guilty
all
of
I'm
it
saying
too.
is that I could see the Cowboys losing in Tampa Bay 100%. And I could also see, well, I just don't know because the
Stop
defense is
being an
supposed to
Eagles
be
fan.
the defense is supposed to be like the strong suit with Tampa Bay, but I feel like they've been injured and like not playing well. Like then that's why the Tampa Bay is where they're at. And
That's the
so
Cowboys.
I like want to see if they can like shut down, the little lamb, and I mean I feel like they could. Like Dak Prescott could just throw like 2 picks in the beginning of like the first fucking quarter and that shit's over real quick. Like couldn't you see
Well,
that happening?
I think I'll say to the Washington game, what screwed from the get-go wasn't Dak throwing these interceptions. It was the muffled punts right off the bat. It was just like, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
I knew it from the first fumble punt. I was
Yeah,
like,
you guys are
okay,
like
here we
you would
go.
just like spiral.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, hard
So
time.
if Tampa gets on you early, I could see it just going south. And then Mike McCarthy looks like a buster
No,
and then you have to fire him
there's a
before he
reason the
gets on the fucking
Cowboys, they're only good when they're on top, and I know that from a Cowboys because I've been a Cowboys fan for my whole life, and even the era of Romo, it was always, well, we got a chance. Like there was never a game where I could just sit back and go, we got this. It was just like always Cowboys playing from behind, and we never accomplished it. And now we have a team that is actually dominating in the season, hasn't performed in the off season still or in the playoffs. Um, but yeah, honestly, as a Cowboys fan, I'm not nervous because of the Bucks. I'm nervous because of the Cowboys.
Well, and so
Yeah.
what I would say to this is like, look, at the end of the
Me too.
day, both these teams aren't playing good. If Mike McCarthy, at having 2 back-to-back 12-5 seasons, loses to a sub 500 team like the Bucks, who've played like shit all year, he deserves to lose his job. Even if they give it to Quinn. No, let me finish. He deserves to lose his job. There's too much talent on this team that I hear about all the fucking time for them to go out there and lose to the Tampa Bay Bucks, who they should beat because they are that much better of a team. Now, the front seven for Tampa Bay's could probably give them fits. It's going to be tough for them to run the ball. And if Dak's got to go out there and throw the ball 39, 40 times, that's not good for them. It's the same with Tampa. If Tampa can't run the ball and Tom Brady has to chuck the ball like 55 times, I mean, Tom Brady's going to be throwing the ball. He's going to have a 2.2 yard average because if he can't run the ball, he dinks and dunks. And he just slowly drops the ball down the field and tries to get yards and points that way. So both of these offenses we've seen in the past like 4 to 5 weeks, even in their wins, because I was at one of them. I was at the game when they lost, and a majority of that game was Dak dropping the ball off short because there was nothing. Nobody's getting open. And if Dak's going to drop
you ain't
back,
got to lie to kick it, you know.
and if Dak's going to drop back and chuck the ball deep to Noah Brown every fucking second, the Cowboys are going to lose this. The Cowboys are going to lose this game if he chooses to do that.
Well,
if we see what we've seen the past 2 weeks from the Cowboys offense to the Bucks defense will capitalize on it, and they're too talented.
That's not
Hey,
fair.
let me say something real quick. The fact that we're even discussing it as that it might happen, it should worry you because the Bucks look like shit this entire season, and the fact that it's even in play, is scary if you're a Dallas fan.
Yeah, because I would agree with that.
I want to address before the thought escapes my mind. You understand our running game hasn't looked like it has been too because our O line has been tossed and moved around. We actually have everyone's healthy now. We get our center back. Everyone is in their normal positions that they're comfortable playing. I think you're going to see a lot stronger of a run game with our O line. The way they like, I didn't realize that until someone told me the other day. They go, "Oh yeah, what's his name's coming back? The O line's 100% healthy," and I go, "Okay, that makes me feel a little better."
Well, and that should, but like we haven't seen that unit play together in a while. And I'm just saying that front seven and those two linebackers they have in the middle of the field, and Winfield coming up. And Winfield's not my favorite, but that dude loves to hit, loves to put himself in danger's way and fuck his shoulders up, laying people out. Tampa's going to come out on defense and be physical with the Cowboys right off the bat. They're going to be physical, especially in that front seven, and try to make a statement. And if the Cowboys cower, they're going to jump all over it. They're not going to slow down. That's what I'm saying. And Tampa's offense is a whole nother story. Your defense matches up pretty good against their offense. That's going to be a really good matchup. But if your offense doesn't show up, that Tampa defense will get points off of it. They can be scary when they fucking want to be, and I hate Tampa. I picked them to not make the playoffs, not because of how their defense played, but because of how their offense looks like trash. Now, if
I
you
think
guys
Brady's getting pressured all game.
Yeah, well, I think he is,
really
but
do.
he gets rid of the ball quicker than anybody else. So you're going to have to get rid of him. You're going to have to get hands up. Micah Parsons, if Micah Parsons has 3 or 4 batted passes, Cowboys win this game.
But Brady has proven he can't throw as sharp on those quick releases with pressure. It's not like he's young Brady.
His O-line's banged up too, man. Everybody's got injuries. There's attrition, and an extra
I think that's
game
what
all
the game
year.
comes down to is
Tom Brady
honestly,
literally leads the
battle
league
between defensive line of Cowboys and Brady.
Yeah, but I think that Tom Brady can win this game and not play his best game. I think that if Dak goes out there and does not play his best game and play to the maximum of his ability, they might lose this game, because when Dak is not playing at the best of his ability, the mistakes we see him make are costly. It's not like when Tom Brady's having a shitty game and then goes out there and has some crazy drive, and it fucking drives me crazy, in overtime to win some game, and and goes on some drive, goes 12 for 14 for 180 yards and 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter to win it. We don't see Dak do that. We see Dak do that in the first 2 or 3 quarters and slowly implode, or not get to that point all game, or maybe the last drive. So what I'm saying is if Tom Brady doesn't play his best, or the offense doesn't, they still have a chance with that defense and his clutch decision making. If Dak Prescott, if they do not play well on offense and the Cowboys offense does not play their best game, I think they might be in serious fucking trouble. And that's an unbiased, not because I'm an Eagles fan opinion. It's coming off of what we saw last week too, that if they're spiraling, they start to spiral. Dak leads the league in interceptions and has played 5 less games than any anybody other starter that qualifies for in that role. He's got the most interceptions in the league, so his decision making and his timing has been off. And Tampa's probably chomping at the bit. They're playing with fucking house money, man. All these teams.
Yeah, I just don't know how Brady doesn't have to play a perfect game to win when it's all Brady.
Because we've seen Tom Brady not
to win, because their running game is kaput.
Yeah, but
it has to be Brady.
Yeah, but we've seen their defense play well enough to keep them in the game, that Tom Brady
Playoffs,
does not play his best game, but then has his best moment at the end of the game to tie it and then to win it.
Yeah,
so that's what I'm saying is so if you want to talk clutch,
let's not judge the Bucks against their division, which we've seen them play more than any other teams this year, because that's just been trash. You know what I mean? We're talking playoff opponent here.
Hey, but it's the same thing like
the
when
Panthers,
it's the same
the
thing
Falcons, the Saints, they were not that bad.
It's the same thing, but it's the same whenever we saw you guys play in the first game of the year. Both offenses played like shit. Tom Brady threw the ball 27 times that game, and they ended up winning that game because he controlled the clock and he went down the field and fucking won the game. And that's what he does. That's what he has a clutch gene, where if he's within 10 points and you've got 12 minutes left in the game, Tom Brady can get you that 7 or that field goal pretty quickly to make you feel like, okay, we're still in this. And Dak
has he showed it this year, other than that one game?
He's had like 3 or 4 game-winning drives in like overtime or in the fourth quarter to win the game. So he's had a lot this year. Like, he doesn't have 3 or 4 of those performances. They don't make the playoffs. Like,
But that's the NFL, dude. I mean, come on.
So that's all I'm saying is, like, if Tom Brady, if the offense,
it's not
sputters,
like Tom Brady's had 3 performances and that's why the Bucks. It's like everybody. Herbert did,
I'm just saying if Tom Brady goes out there and plays his brand of football, and Tom Brady throws the ball less than 32 times, the Bucks win that game. If they,
Yeah,
if
and
he,
I
He's
don't
not though.
believe that the Bucks don't have a running game. I think they just choose not to run, but I feel like that they can run on this fucking Cowboys defense, and if that happens, it's over.
now, can CD Lamb get open? Yes. Carlton
No.
David, hold on, stop. No, because he's getting pissed. So let's also be honest. Let's go to the other side of the coin. Is there enough talent on this offense where they can be a mismatch for the Bucks defense? Absolutely. Should CD Lamb be able to cook whoever is replacing Carlton Davis or a Carlton Davis coming off of injury? Absolutely. It's not like the Cowboys are slouches on offense. Schultz is going to create some problems, but not as many as you'd think
Always do.
because Levante David and Devin White can definitely cover on that linebacker on that tight end spot from the linebacker position. Or the roll down Winfield. If the Cowboys are able to run the ball and control the clock and get to an early lead and protect it, the Bucks don't stand a chance. The Bucks the Bucks are not good at coming from way behind and coming back and winning games. All these games that they've ended up losing, they shoot themselves in the foot. They play like shit, but the other team can never put them away, and they slowly creep back in it. Then there's a random fumble because someone on defense does their job. Tom Brady takes a break from cussing somebody out and throws a touchdown pass. Like, that happens. But if the Cowboys win the time of possession, win the field, like the field battle and the position, whenever it comes to field position, win that. I mean, and they win the turnover battle, there's no way. But the Bucks are gonna have to play really good on offense, and yeah, they can't turn the ball over either because the Cowboys can score. Their
I think
defense
the
will
last
get
2
points.
weeks, T.Y. Hilton has shown he ain't. He's a
Oh
QB
my
threat
God.
too. He
Here we
can.
go.
I mean, let's be real.
Yeah, but I mean, as like a third or fourth option, absolutely, T.Y.
We need
Hilton
it.
should be able to
We
get
need
open.
it. That's what we need.
Second option besides Schultz.
When we have a number one, a true number one like CeeDee Lamb is somewhat turning into, and people are going to double coverage him.
Who's your number two?
That's where the strongest is out. That's where Beasley shined the most, where he was just that fucking slot in. Boom.
Okay, but who is your number two receiver?
I don't know.
Jesus Christ.
Well, I'm
Like,
saying
It's got to be
Is
Noah
it
Brown
Gallup?
right
Is it
now.
Noah
It's
Brown?
probably
I mean-
Noah Brown, but I don't know why. Gallup is good. I mean, obviously CeeDee Lamb's good. The problem with the Cowboys wide receiving core is you don't have any real speed. So like CeeDee Lamb's going to get by you on like a double move, or he's going to get by you on some sort of sneaky route, but he's not going to necessarily run past anybody where he's just like a barn burner. So T.Y. Hilton gives them that speed to push someone over the top because CeeDee Lamb's like a glorified possession. Michael Gallup's a possession. Noah Brown's a possession. None of those guys are really fast guys where it's like, oh man, he's going to run by you. Where you look at someone like the Eagles, I know, not very objective, but Devontae Smith is fast and you're a route runner. Your possession guy is A.J. Brown. Your guy who blows the lid off of the coverage is Quez Watkins. There's the Cowboys wide receiving core is so non-diverse that it's like they're almost covering the same person. CeeDee Lamb's obviously a little bit better of an athlete, but they're all kind of the same builds, kind of the same skill set, run the same routes, have the same strengths and routes that they run. So T.Y. Hilton's been getting open because they got somebody fucking fast, man.
Shout out, I guess. I didn't know that he was still alive.
Well, and he's
Like, I
proven
thought
he
he
can still outrun the cornerbacks out there.
He's fast as shit. No one would ever say T.Y. Hilton's
The-
slow, but
the
I mean,
one
if you're,
play-
if
the
you're
one bomb
depending
play
on him,
was
that's
just
the
a bad
problem.
pass to him, and technically decent coverage, but man,
But I mean, Dak's been making a lot of bad throws, and so is Tom
has.
Brady. So
He
it's
has.
which one of these quarterbacks is going to play within themselves and within the offense, protect the ball, protect the clock. In that situation and in those circumstances, I lean more towards Brady just because that's literally how we've watched him win 7 Super Bowls. But he's also not, if he's physically not
but
what he
also
once
his
used to be.
receivers have been Butterfinger all year too.
Oh yeah, I mean, but their receivers.
At least the Cowboys can
Well,
say our
Matt-
receivers have been somewhat consistent when Dak hasn't.
Yeah, no, but I mean, Mike Evans 9 straight years of 1,000 yards. I mean, that's the most consistent you could be. So I mean,
Yeah, but they're old. I think it's
yeah,
on the
they're
age
old,
tier.
but I mean,
The
yeah,
whole team is old.
yeah, but I mean, they can still make plays.
their whole
man.
team is not old.
Not
Most of it.
everyone.
Most of their stars, especially on offense. Godwin.
Alright. Don't
Godwin's
talk
not
about Godwin
that
like that.
old. Godwin's
He's not old at all.
When you
I just traded for him.
you become old in the NFL when you start getting injuries.
Yeah, tell Tom Brady that he's
I mean, I
45.
guess he came
He
back.
never had injuries.
He came back.
Yeah, he
Tom,
did. Remember, like they created a whole rule. Remember, he snapped his knee, like, and then
that's the whole
we watched
legend.
Matt Castle like throw up 12 wins
Yeah, the
Yeah,
legend
well.
of 11-5. They went 11-5.
We all know he's a
from
robot.
5. There you go.
Didn't
Shout
make the
out.
playoffs.
He's a
Didn't make
robot
the
made
playoffs.
by what's his name? Roger
Remember
Goodall.
when
to
you used
improve
to
the
go
NFL's
11-5?
fan base.
Remember when you used to go 11-5 and not make the playoffs, and now you can go like 9-8 and you're good to go.
Yeah.
9-8. What are you talking about? 2 seasons at 12.
We're not talking about you, dude.
Oh.
Calm
Right.
down.
Well, when you said you,
high.
I was
That
talking
loss
about.
to Washington got you
and there's been
sensitive,
so much
man.
attack on the you.
I was sitting back. I was not saying anything, but I was just trying to get over it. Like, let's just keep it moving. But no, I was saying like the Patriots when Matt Castle was their quarterback, they were 11-5, but they didn't make the playoffs. But now you can be like the 9-8 Bucks and make the playoffs. You know.
Yeah, it's true.
Or
All
the
right.
Seahawks.
I'm honestly
Well,
disappointed in all broadcasting that division hasn't had a nickname like the NFC East had last year, and now we're the best division.
What was us?
NFC Least.
Oh, ew.
Yeah, it was disgusting.
We went to the playoffs. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, let's get into bets.
Eagles.
We're gonna get into bets. Bet time.
All right.
We're gonna get into Goody's bets first. Mr. Goody, let him fly. First off, how'd you do last week?
I was not involved last week.
Oh yeah, that's right. I didn't know if you had bets.
Someone told me they had a parlay that was huge, and the only thing that didn't hit on it was Cowboys beating Washington, and I was like, Anyway.
Sounds like the Cowboys.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's hear him, Goody.
Okay. So what I did this week was bet on every single game. So this is 6 teams.
Okay.
Or 6 games, 12 teams, I should say. Because 14 make it. Eagles have the bye. Chiefs have the bye. All right.
Still not.
So what I did was a 6-team, 6-point teaser. So basically you take you bet the line, however you're going to bet it, and then there'll be 6 points added in your favor. Here we go. So I took the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who were dogs by 2.5, and teased it up to 8.5. So Tampa, just if they lose by 8 or less, good to go. Seattle Seahawks are dogs by 10. I teased that up to plus 16. New York Giants, dogs by 3. I teased it up to 9, so they just have to lose by 8. Miami Dolphins, they are underdogs by 13. Tease that up to 19, so they just can't lose by that much. Jaguars are dogs at home versus the Chargers.
Yep.
So I just took that, teased it up to plus 8, and then the Bengals, who are home favorites, at minus 8, I teased it down to minus 2, so they just have to win by field goal.
Okay.
So Bucks, Seahawks, Giants, Dolphins, Jaguars, Bengals, all plus 6 on the current spread, and altogether that is a plus 600 bet.
All right, that's pretty good. I mean, I like those points, like Tampa plus 8.5.
Yeah.
Where was the other one? Jags plus 8. I liked those a lot, and then New York plus 9. Those plus 19 and plus 16 is just absurd. Obviously, those are good, but
I was gonna say, like,
they're
I was
just
like, you
such a
know,
high
like
number. No, I do. They're just such a high number, and something that's competitive. Where I'm like, okay, now plus 16. I mean, Seattle could lose by more than 16. Honestly, it's not likely, but it's fucking possible. Right.
But that's where you get the value then.
Yeah, no, I got you.
And then the Bengals, I think, could like rout the Ravens, but it's a divisional game and they play each other hard. So teasing it down from minus 8 to minus 2, where they just have to win by field goal, you get value there.
Yeah. All right, well, I'm going to get into 2.0s. Here's his recap. He had the Patriots over the Bills, minus 7. We won that. They won 35-23. He had his teaser, Titans at Jags from minus 6 to a pick'em. Ravens at Bengals, minus 7 to minus 1. We won that one. Then he had Jags over the Bengals. Yeah, wait, what? Playoff bets, recaps. Yeah. Jags won 2016 and Bengals won 2017, so we hit that. The money line parlay, we did not hit. The only game that didn't hit was the Cowboys, but the Rams hit and the Chiefs hit. So we went 2-1 and we were up 0.8 units. 2.0.
Was that parlay? Was that the 4,500?
No, that was just we just do different ones. So that's just a 3-team money line parlay that he set up. I'm not sure what the plus was.
I think that's what Chubb's parlay was, 4,500 with Cowboys losing.
Okay, so these are 2.0s picks, and I love Joe. Shout out 2.0. I know you can't be here. You're out there being famous. Round of applause for you. Thorough as fuck on his notes. So these are just his locks. He didn't pick all the games, but these are his locks. Seahawks at 49ers. He has the Niners minus 9.5 at minus 110. The Seahawks are limping into the playoffs. Only won 3 of their last 8 games, and 2 of those wins were against the Rams. And Seahawks struggle defending against the run, so look for the Niners to exploit that and take advantage of this matchup. Very true. Niners are good on defense except for against the run. So, look for a big heavy load of Christian McCaffrey. Then he also has Chargers at Jags. This is an interesting bet. He's betting Travis Etienne over 78.5 yards at minus 104. Chargers have allowed a 100-plus rusher 6 of the last 8 games. Etienne only ran for 17 yards last week, but the Titans have the best run defense in the league, and the Chargers are at 28. And Joey Bosa's back for the Chargers. Look for the Jags to try to establish a run game to slow him down. And Khalil Mack, having him back will be huge. But yeah,
Joseph.
What's up?
Did we just figure this out?
What?
Is 2.0 using ChatGPT to make his picks and come up with the paragraphs to describe why he made his picks, because he is using an algorithm. He is using a robot. I haven't seen it. I don't know if you've seen it, but what if he's been using ChatGPT this whole time, and now I'm going to start using ChatGPT and just combat him with my picks?
I mean, go for it. That'd be interesting. Do you have evidence?
That's exactly because you reading it. I wondered if he was reading it, when he would give his picks, and I'm like, what if he asked ChatGPT to just write it out, and he is reading it the whole time?
I don't know. He takes pretty extensive notes. I mean, these are just
I know.
Points. So he might have for this one.
You can literally ask it to put it in bullet point form on ChatGPT. I've tried it. Not for this, but just fucking around with my mom, when I was on mushrooms, when she came and picked me up.
Everything I say on this is from a script that I'm reading on the side.
Well, you need a new script writer. You need a writer's room because it's not working.
My wife, because she messes up my cue cards.
You need a ghostwriter like Mike Pompeo's book.
And then he has. Cowboys at Bucks. He has the Bucks +3 at minus 110. He just thinks it's going to be a close game. Going to give him the home field points.
I got him +8. So
yeah, I mean those are 2.0's picks. Those are bets.
ChatGPT's picks.
Quit hating on my boy.
I'm just kidding, but I was just because you were
booing you.
It was. I'm telling you, because he's the robot, bro. He's the AI. And they came in and swooped his story.
It's possible. I mean,
you tell me that he's out in this college of smart people in technology.
Yeah, he's going to a
robots
super smart tech school. It's kind of wild.
Yeah, he's not involved. He just probably can't tell us.
He's like a mega genius.
He's testing it out on the public.
Oh, that's what he's doing.
Yeah, we're his beta version of what it's gonna happen.
We're his guinea pigs.
Yeah, kind of.
Oh wait, there's more. I'm sorry, we're not done with bets. I gotta press the bets. He might have. This is a lot. Dallas and Bucks notes, two teams going opposite directions. Dallas pass defense has struggled, losing cornerback Anthony Brown, while the Bucks offense has been figuring it out recently. Bucks have given up the lowest number of sacks in the league, and Micah Parsons is playing like hot garbage recently. The Cowboys defense has only gotten 6 sacks in the last 5 games. Look for the Bucks to have success offensively and keep this game close. Side note, Dak Prescott has thrown a pick in 8 straight games. Apologies, I said 7. It's 8, most of which haven't been close or are thrown right to the defense. So look for a player to prop it. Look for a player prop if you'd like it. And then he's got a teaser. Giants Vikings, teasing the Giants from +3 to +9, and then Ravens Bengals from -8 to -2. Isn't that what you did?
Yeah,
Didn't
that's
you
exactly
tease?
what I did.
You teased both of them.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
exact same way.
Yeah.
So
No, that's a great bet. But with the tease, you have to do it with another bet. So you can't just tease like one game.
and they're saying if you want, you can tease the Bucks game as well if you would like.
That's what I did.
Yep.
Yeah.
He said if you want.
Well, I teased every game. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, that makes sense. The other thing I was thinking, like with ChatGPT, like what if everything that he just said in that paragraph was wrong? It was just said with such confidence that you just assume, like the Bucks haven't allowed a sack in whatever amount of games. Like this could be completely wrong, and like, but we just said it with such confidence that it was just like, oh, well, I'm going to take that seriously.
Yeah, you can do that. Fake it.
I know, it's so wild.
Fake it till you make it, man.
I forgot to bring this up earlier. Yeah, you want to talk about how bad the Cowboys are playing leading up to the playoffs? Well, if you're a Cowboy fan and you know our team's history, anytime we're actually playing hot going into the playoffs, like what you would want a team to be like, right? What happens first round of the playoffs?
You guys hook up?
We shit the bed.
Oh.
So I'm taking this as a Cowboys fan as, hey, maybe this is what we needed to change our playoff life, is play like dog shit right before playoffs, get it out of our system. Because if you honestly, every year I can remember, Cowboys have a great season, go into the like last 2 games, even looking good. Everyone's like, man, Cowboys, this is their year to go to the Super Bowl, and then we lose first game.
That's literally every year I can remember is you guys never going to the Super Bowl. So I'm glad that you said that.
Wait, were you born in like 98?
Just tee that one up on your pipe, bro.
I didn't know you were a youngin'.
No, I don't. I mean, every Cowboys year, I'm like, hey, they're not going to go to the Super Bowl.
3 playoff
And they
wins
just
in
never do.
25 years.
They just never do.
You were obviously just a fan of football after the year 97, because that's when you started watching football.
Well, that's when I was born.
Yeah.
But that's whenever you're like old enough to remember watching the games.
I remember watching the Bills Cowboys Super Bowls because my dad used to drag me to like crazy ass parties.
Yeah, my neighbor always had a crazy Super Bowl party, so that's why.
But I was always rooting for the Bills.
Gang on slime.
Yeah, right.
On
I guess I
slime.
You
What do you
picked the wrong
mean?
team, buddy. Sorry.
On slime.
Okay, well,
slime.
I hated the Cowboys when I was on the uterus, like up in the uterus, like with the umbilical cord up in here. I was just like, fuck you.
Where were you born?
Bag.
Where were you born?
I was born in L.A.
There, it explains it all.
City of Angels.
No Texas-born person says that. Garbage.
No, my dad though just brainwashed me to be a Philadelphia fan.
Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah. He
Smart.
brainwashed you Clockwork Orange style.
Smart man. Yeah,
In the
you would
womb.
do if you watched
In the womb.
when you're in the womb watching Brian Dawkins hits.
When I was like,
you're not
yeah.
born till 99.
Shit.
Shit.
Your dad actually lied to you as a kid and was like, son, do you know your mom's not your mother? You were actually born of an eagle.
Tight.
I was born out of the Philly Fanatic. He
Yeah,
birthed me.
Philly Fanatic birthed me out of his mouth.
Like, what?
It just shot me out of his blowhorn or whatever, blowhole, whatever.
No, he calls it his blowhorn. You know what I'm
I
saying?
bet, dude. Thing's a Hoover.
He's the fanatic, bro.
Yeah. I love sports. He'd be horrible at parties. What are you thinking? What are you thinking? You're thinking you're in deep thought, Elwood. You're trying to come up with some Cowboys factoid, some burn, something about Quincy Carter, some
Oh God, don't talk about Brace Face to me.
No, he's actually. I was telling Joseph, I had to school him. Quincy Carter is like actually like a high level quarterback coach that these guys go to, like in the off season, like Herbert and a lot of these, like I think Mahomes, like they like meet up with Quincy Carter and Carson Palmer's brother, Jordan Palmer,
yeah.
and they're like doing like these like off season like elite like like changing their like throws. So Quincy Carter is
Yeah.
probably making more money now than he was before.
Yeah, but fuck Quincy
Yeah.
Carter. So fuck him.
Yeah.
All right, are we out of here? Cause
Yeah, I was gonna say, you got any final words, Elwood, before I kick you off?
First of all, I leave.
go Eagles.
I leave on my own accord every time.
Oh, okay.
America, he
Okay.
never
Boot
kicks me
him,
off.
boot him, boot him.
Boo this man right here. I'm pointing at.
No,
us.
boot with a T,
Oh,
like a cowboy
well,
boot.
I'm saying boo.
What's your prophetic shit you want to say? What's up? What you got? What's your final
you got?
words, Elwood?
Cowboys show up. Super Bowl bound.
Final score. What's your final score?
I know. I'm thinking. $35-10.
Oh. Okay.
Because well, no, let's be real. That's the real score. Because the only way Cowboys win this game is if they show up as the offense that scores 30 or more points, and our defense shows up and holds the Bucks under 17.
I had to lean back
Because that's what we've shown. That's how we win games. We got to dominate.
Had to lean back for that bullshit. 35-10.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, like we haven't done that this season.
All right. Not to
I
them
mean,
when
it's
you
just,
played them
it's
earlier.
bold, man. It's bold.
It's a bold statement, putting the world on notice. You heard it here first. Smellwood, the smelliest of woods.
At least he's taking it. He's shooting a shot.
No, I appreciate it. So, I mean, Elwood putting it out there. One more round of applause for our hairy, grumpy, curmudgeon-y, living under a rock, selling you a typewriter, coming to an Etsy store near you. Elwood. James Elwood. You still look like you sell typewriters today.
I live under a rock, then my name's Patrick, okay?
All right.
Dude, hey, don't talk about my Irish people like that.
Irish, I am Irish, sucker.
Yeah, you know.
Oh, my
I think
mother's
he's talking about
maiden
Patrick from
O'Neill,
SpongeBob.
Sucker. Yeah, come on.
SpongeBob.
You were born in 97.
All right. That's James Elwood, everybody.
Hold on. Do I get a bold prediction?
We'll do yours in a second. I do send-offs one by one.
Okay.
Let me do my thing. Let me do my
Word to my
thing.
mother.
All right.
All
I'm going to
right.
have to do another round of applause. James Elwood, everybody, back again. 35-10, Cowboys over Bucks. We'll see. He'll be back next week. Now you're getting your round of applause. We appreciate you being here, Smellwood.
I'm going silent, but I need to hear this bold prediction from Mr. Goody. I need to hear this.
All right, let's hear it. Let's hear your bold prediction, dude. What the fuck are you doing? Let's go. You scared? You scared? You scared?
I think he just took some shrooms.
That was pretty good. That was a good Elwood burn.
He said he had a better story and he didn't.
Yeah, but that was just topical and like now, like, you know, like, and I'm not saying it was
Dude,
better.
that's probably what he's doing is like topical ass shrooms, like probably when real shrooms. Like, dust, it was dust. It's probably like angel dust. Is what you guys probably took angel dust. That's how I'm thinking about it. Jesus
that's even
Christ,
more
man.
of a
Get
better
your
story.
shit together. Get your shit together.
All right, let's hear your fucking prediction. God damn, dude.
Fuck. My bold prediction is that New York Giants beat the Vikings, and then the Eagles play the Giants at home week 2 of the divisional round, so they would call it in the bigs.
So an Eagles-Giants rematch. Okay, I like it. Okay.
And then we're waltzing into Niners or Cowboys or Bucks. That's what would be the 3 left.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
All right.
Cowboys Eagles conference championship would be pretty epic. Just saying.
Philly. There's a path there for the Cowboys for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely, most definitely.
Especially if the Giants win.
Oh yeah. Well, all right. Well, that's
Really? No, not really, because then they have to play the Niners. Dude, think about that though. A Niners Cowboys rematch, because of all the history of back when
even
they're
last year.
Deion Sanders and Jerry Rice and posing on the stars.
Last year, Dak. The reason they lost is Dak couldn't stop the ball.
Last 17 seconds.
I know, but this would be more epic this year.
Excuse me.
Because this would be more epic in my opinion.
Yeah, it would be.
Because you're going on to play the Eagles to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
If you win that game.
Yeah. All right. Well, that is Goody and Elwood. Episode number 19. Playoffs, baby. Place your bets. Get them in. Appreciate you guys being here, as always. I love arguing with y'all.
Much love.
Bunch of assholes. These fucking guys, man, I tell you.
Hey, random thing. Y'all watch The Circle on Netflix?
Fuck yeah, I do. I'll bet on it. I'm not kidding.
I'm laughing because I knew you weren't.
All right.
I think the new season's best season yet, so good.
Why are you blowing it to people? I thought you signed off.
I'm trying to do my send-off. Y'all are rambling.
I know.
All right. Episode number 19, Playoffs Baby is over. Angry Black Quarterback. We appreciate y'all being here. Like, follow, subscribe, share, whatever. We just appreciate you guys coming by. Pay attention to these games this weekend. We got a bunch of good ones. Cowboys, Bucks. Eagles are off this week. Chiefs are off. Check out that Jags game. Jags, Chargers. Also that Giants, Vikings game. Got a lot of good shit going on. Stay positive. Take care of each other. Be safe. We will be back next week. The Eagles will be back next Sunday, Monday. Who fucking knows? But we'll be back the week after. So y'all just be good. Stay safe. Stay out of trouble. Take care of yourselves and your loved ones. And as always, this beat's kind of fire. As always, y'all, peace out. Bye. Hey. Honestly, this beat's fire as fuck. Y'all be good. Peace.
Every now and then when I feel a bit buggy, I look at the floor, maybe need a new ruggy. Scratch that, I'll get some beers and get chuggy. Nah, man, I know what I need, some old man huggy. Old man huggy. Some old man huggy. Put your headphones on for proper audio